Good evening, everybody. I'm Gus Gordon, the Executive Director of the Hoogland Center for the Arts. Welcome to our 2020 Gala, A Night on Broadway. Yeah, I know, it looks a little different this year, but 2020 has been anything but normal. We can't have large groups in our facility right now, so we've decided to bring A Night on Broadway to you at home. Each year since 2015, we've brought in wonderful Broadway stars to headline our gala. But of course, that isn't happening this year. But with our unique format and with the power of the internet, over a dozen performers with impressive Broadway credits have agreed to help us out so that we can bring a spectacular home edition right to your computer. Now, before we begin, it is my honor to introduce our 2020 Board of Trustees President, Dr. Lee Steiner.
Thank you, Gus. And thanks to all of you for being with us tonight. You know, when the pandemic crisis reached Central Illinois in early March, the Hoogland Center quickly jumped into action by making the very difficult decision to cancel shows in order to keep our volunteers, our students, patrons, and staff safe. This was heartbreaking for all of us, but especially for the performers, students, and artists who had been working so hard to present wonderful entertainment for the community. Our doors were closed, shows were canceled, and classes, meetings, and rehearsals were suspended. A once bustling building was suddenly very empty and very, very quiet. No activity means no income, and we became very worried about how we would be able to survive this crisis. And then this amazing thing happened. Many of our longtime donors and supporters began sending in unsolicited checks to help us make up for the sudden lack of income. The Board of Trustees and staff were overwhelmed by the kindness of our loyal friends. We are not out of the woods yet, especially as we move into our 8th month of being closed to the public with no end in sight. So tonight, we're turning to our loyal supporters once again and asking you to make a donation to the Hoogland in order to keep us operating until this pandemic is over and we can start serving our community once again. Please, help us keep the arts alive. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lee. Well, we promised you Broadway stars, and that is what we are going to deliver. And as you can see, we now have a backdrop worthy of A Night on Broadway. And if we're going to have a fancy gala, I need fancy helpers. So I'd like to introduce you to my co-host for the evening, HCFTA Assistant Director Vanessa Ferguson, and News Channel 20 anchor and Hoogland board member, Justin Carter.
Thank you, Gus. And as Lee mentioned, tonight is a fundraiser. So while we are here to have some fun and enjoy some wonderful performances and messages of support, we'll also be reminding you of our needs. We're excited to tell you that after almost 8 months of very little activity, we've been able to slowly bring some of our resident groups back into the building to carry on rehearsals, meetings, and even some streaming performances too, all socially distanced, of course. Right, Vanessa?
That's right, Justin. But with that increased activity comes increased expenses. And that's why we are pulling out the stops tonight to bring you an evening of great entertainment to help us raise money for the Hoogland. You can donate online at hcfta.org or send a check to 420 South 6th Street in Springfield, Illinois for any amount that fits your budget.
Thank you very much, Vanessa. We are so thankful that tonight's guest sent us clips from the comfort of their own homes. So our Night on Broadway Home Edition will be a little bit like one of those Zoom meetings that have taken over our lives. Tonight's first guest is Illinois native Anna McNeely. Anna has played leading roles in several Broadway shows, including Gypsy with Tyne Daly and the TV version with Bette Midler, the original company of Cats as Jenny Anydots, and the original company of Disney's Beauty and the Beast. Here she is performing the title song from that show, Anna McNeely.
Hello everyone from Illinois. I hope you are staying healthy and safe, and God bless you, and God bless America. Tale as old as time, true as it can be. Barely even friends, then somebody ends unexpectedly. Just a little change, small to say the least, both a little scared, neither one prepared. Beauty and the Beast, ever just the same, ever a surprise, ever as before, ever just as sure as the sun will rise. Tale as old as time, tune as old as song, bittersweet and strange, finding you can change, learning you were wrong. Certain as the sun, rising in the east, tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme, beauty and the Beast. Tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme, beauty and the Beast. Off to the cupboard with you now, Chip. Past your bedtime. Good night, love.
Thank you so much, Anna. Anna was born in Tower Hill, Illinois, and still makes it back to the region every now and then to appear in productions for the Little Theater on the Square.
Keeping with a Disney theme, here is a message from Ernie Sabella, the voice of Pumbaa in the animated movie The Lion King, and the Broadway star of Guys and Dolls, Chicago, and A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum.
Hakuna Matata means no worries. Listen, Hoogland Center for the Arts. Believe me, you're a great group, and you need financial support, and good luck getting through the pandemic. We all need that, right? So that's HCFTA.org. HCFTA.org. Everybody chip in. Come on, it's for the arts. Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. Hakuna Matata. Ain't no passing craze. It means no worries for the rest of your days. It's all problem-free philosophy. Hakuna Matata.
Many of the stars performing for us tonight have personal connections to members of our own Central Illinois theater community. Our next performer, Timothy Shue, went to Millikan University with Springfield's own Carla Wilhelm. Carla contacted Timothy on our behalf and graciously agreed to send us a musical number. He has appeared on Broadway and Sunset Boulevard, Guys and Dolls, and starred as Jean Valjean in the Broadway and touring company productions of Les Miserables. Here he is, singing Go the Distance from Hercules.
Hi everyone, Timothy Shue here, and Mr. Phil Rena on the piano. I have often dreamed of a far-off place where a hero's welcome will be waiting for me, and the crowds will cheer when they see my face, and a voice keeps saying, this is where I'm to be. I'll be there someday. I can go the distance. I will SCA. If I can be strong, I know every mile will be worth my while. When I go the distance, I'll be right where I belong. Down an unknown road to embrace my fate. Though that road may wander, it will lead me to you. And 1,000 years will be worth my wait. It might take a lifetime, but somehow I'll see it through. And I won't look back. I can go the distance. I will stay on track. No, I won't accept defeat. It's an upward slope, but I won't lose hope till I go the distance and my journey is complete. But to look beyond the glory is the hardest part, for a hero's strength is measured by his heart. Like a shooting star, I can go the distance. I will search the world. I will face its harms. I don't care how far. I can go the distance when I find my hero's welcome waiting in your
We've recently heard the sad news that the lights on Broadway will be dark until at least summer of 2021. But since the public can't go to Broadway, there is one man who is bringing Broadway to the whole country through his radio show on SiriusXM. Here's a message from Seth Rudetsky.
Hey everyone, it's Seth Rudetsky from SiriusXM on Broadway. I'm the Broadway host. I'm standing in front of a subway map to kind of make this look really New York-y. I want to wish, of course, everybody luck around the world for getting through this crazy pandemic. I want to also apologize for my horrible lighting, but I don't know anything about lighting. It's like I've been working on Broadway for 25 years, don't understand lighting. So ignore how horrible I look. But I would love you all to please support the arts. First of all, the website I want to talk about is HCFTA.org. And I want to see either Hoogland or Hoogland. But I watch videos from you guys and either my hearing is going or people aren't clear, but they're like, Hoogland Center for the Arts. I'm like, wait, what? Hoog? It's not important. The point is, please support the arts because they are going to be kind of one of the last things to come back after this. Because a lot of the arts, you have to be super close to people. And of course, being close to people is one of the ways it spreads. So it's really kind of one of the last things that we're going to have. So if you can support the arts throughout this pandemic, it's going to help in so many ways. First of all, the fact that we don't have major arts going on right now, it's such an incredible loss. Like I think about when I was younger and how I was just constantly involved with the arts. I was doing summer stock. I was taking dance all the time, just constantly doing the arts, and it's just stopped for so many people. So much training and experience is stopping right now. So whatever you can donate will help it at least go on, at least online, and will also keep the center alive. So when it finally comes back, they'll have some money to do some amazing artistic things. And I saw some videos, and the stuff you guys do, I think, is super impressive. And I know the arts are like, oh, the arts are the fun things in the world. First of all, if you didn't have the arts, how would anyone get through this pandemic? The amounts of people like chilling and watching Netflix, well, guess what? The Netflix is art. Like literally, Netflix exists because people took theater in high school. Like all the arts led to Netflix. So Netflix is essential. It's how we're kind of getting through this. The arts are how we're getting through this. And on top of that, even if people don't pursue the arts as a career, the arts teach us, first of all, they let us express feelings. They teach us how to get along. The arts are so collaborative. Like musical theater especially is like kind of the most collaborative thing out there because every single person works in their little tiny field. Like tons of them to do one thing, to finally do all the little fields to get one product. I mean, it's so collaborative. So the arts teaches you how to collaborate. The arts help you express yourself. So please, please, please support the arts. And again, the website is HCFTA.org. And again, it's pronounced Hoogland or Hoogland. I wish my hearing were better, or I wish diction were better in Illinois, because I really can't tell what it is. But you know what? My last name is Rudetsky, and everyone says Rudensky. So no one knows how to pronounce anything in the world. Anyway, hang in there. We're going to get through this together, and the arts are more important now than ever. Thank you.
Like many other people, Seth was tripped up by our name. But don't feel bad, Seth. It happens to a lot of folks. So, how do you pronounce the name of our center? Justin and I went out into the field to get the definitive answer.
Hoogland.
Hoogland.
That's right, says Hoogland.
And we want you to pronounce a word on the sign.
Okay, here we
Go ahead.
go.
Hoogland.
Here we go.
Hoogland.
Pronounce this word.
Hoogland.
What'd you say?
Hoogland.
And what'd you say?
Wondering if you could pronounce the sign that we hold up. Would you mind doing that?
Sure.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Hoogland. Hoogland.
Hoogland.
Hoogland. I don't know.
Hoogland. Hoogland. Is that right?
Say it again.
Hoogland.
One more time.
Hoogland. Yes, Hoogland.
There you go.
Hoogland.
Hoogland? Right? That's Hoogland, isn't it? It's Hoogland, like Roosevelt. Okay? Not Hoogland, not Roosevelt. Hoogland.
I always just say, pronounce it like you would pronounce Hoagie Carmichael or a hoagie sandwich. Someday we're going to have an awards ceremony called the Hoagies, and hopefully that would put an end to this whole question once and for all. Our next guest introduced the iconic Stephen Sondheim song, Another 100 People Just Got Off of the Train, from the landmark 1970s musical Company. Since then, she has starred in musicals all over the country, including the Broadway revival of Into the Woods with Vanessa Williams and the national tour of White Christmas. It's now my pleasure to introduce Pamela Myers.
Hi everyone, this is Pamela Myers here in my dining room studio in Cincinnati. Now, I'm happy to help you out about this because we need to get these theaters reopened. We have a bunch of theaters here in Cincinnati who can only do outside theater. And winter is coming. And the way I see it, it can only be like White Christmas or Frozen, and that's going to get old. So I am doing it here in front of my Hirschfeld print of Merman, Ethel Merman in Gypsy, and for inspiration. And I took this picture of her myself the night I met her. What a rare bird she is. I got to do a few concerts with her. They were unbelievably fun. So I'm going to sing a song that the Merm introduced in Panama Hattie, and it was written by Cole Porter. And I think the perspective about this, what this song says, is really what we have to keep in mind now. Okay, let's give it a shot. Now, I'm just my own stage manager. This could go to Mars. I don't know. Let's even see if I can even pull it up. Okay, here comes my pianist. I wasn't born to stately halls of alabaster. I haven't given many balls for Mrs. Astor. But all the same, I'm in the pink. My constitution's made of zinc. And you never have to give this oil broadcaster. I'm always a flop at a top-notch affair, but I've still got my health, so what do I care? My best ring, alas, is a glass solitaire, but I've still got my health, so what do I care? By fashion and foppery I'm never discussed. Attending the Opry, my box would be a bust. No rich Vanderbilt gives me gilt underwear, but I've still got my health, so what do I care? The hip that I shake never makes people stare, but I've still got my health, so what do I care? You won't find this Pam gracing Vanity Fair, but I've still got my health, so what do I care? My wardrobe is daring, each dress is divine. This outfit I'm wearing, $14.99. I never shall have that Park Avenue air, but I've still got my vitamins A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. I don't care. I don't care. Curtain.
No other show in recent years has had the impact of Lin-Manuel Miranda's smash hit, Hamilton. The show became the hottest ticket in New York and in any city that it played. For those of you lucky enough to see the show in Chicago, you probably saw our next guest, Tamar Green, as George Washington before he transferred to the Broadway cast. Ladies and gentlemen, Tamar Green.
Hey, how's everybody doing today? I'm hoping you're all feeling well, staying healthy, staying blessed. My name is Tamar Green, and I play the role of George Washington in the Broadway company of Hamilton. Yes, I just realized I'm wearing a Hamilton sweater. This is a message to all of you here at the virtual gala with the Springfield, Illinois Hoogland Center for the Arts. I'm hoping I'm saying that correctly, Hoogland Center for the Arts. Hoping that you all can open up your hearts and your wallets and donate to support them during this pandemic so they can remain a home for the arts. Something like this is incredibly important. I think we are all feeling it with this pandemic and COVID and everything, how much the arts are important. We've all been like home binging like Netflix and Hulu and such, right? Things like that are the arts. They are the arts. They are actors. I know actors who have been in shows that have been on pause before they're going on Netflix or what have you. So supporting that, thinking about how much that is important to give opportunities and privileges to folks in the area and surrounding areas. I am so happy to have had arts programs like this growing up, and I was able to be exposed to classical music, classical piano, and all different just styles of music. So I'm asking you all, if you would, please consider donating. And go to HCFTA.org for more information. I want to sing a little bit of something for y'all. One of my favorite parts of the show, yeah? Let me tell you what I wish I'd known when I was young and dreamed of glory. You have no control who lives, who dies, who tells your story. I know that we can win. I know that greatness lies in you, but remember from here on in, history has its eyes on you. History has its eyes on you. History has its eyes on everything that we do, so please always remember to lead with love. Peace and love to you all. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Cheers.
Like Tamar, our next guest discovered his love of performing in high school. Michael Gruber made his Broadway debut in a chorus line during that show's original run. He then returned to that show almost 20 years later when it was revived on The Great White Way. Michael also appeared in the Broadway productions of Cats, Swing, Miss Saigon, My Favorite Year, and even played the Tin Man opposite Roseanne Barr as the Wicked Witch in The Wizard of Oz at Madison Square Garden. Here's Michael Gruber.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Michael Gruber, And when Gus Gordon reached out to me several weeks ago to be part of this fundraising event, I couldn't have been more thrilled and excited to accept. Because you see, Gus and I go back to high school. And I happen to have my 1982 Indian Hill High School Legend Yearbook. Now, I'm a year older than Gus, so I was a senior this year, and Gus was only a junior. But let's see how he was remembered in our high school yearbook. First of all, there was the fall play. Now, this was a play called King Arthur's Calamity, in which our very own Gus Gordon played none other than Merlin the Magician. And there he is right there with very convincing aging makeup, I would say. Quite lovely. Let's turn the page and see what else can be revealed in the pages of the Indian Hill legend. This says, trombone players like Gus Gordon are good kissers. Indeed. So the photo would lead us to believe. Just flipping through a few more pages. This one says, superior acting. And of course, we all know Gus, and there must have been some superior acting. And here he is again as a shop owner boss, again with convincing age makeup, great hair, glasses, mustache. Looking very dapper. There seems to be a pattern emerging here. I flipped the page again to a musical delight. Now, this was Pippin, which we did my senior year, Gus's junior year. And Gus, although younger, played my father, Charlemagne. And here he is, of course, leading myself and the actor playing Louis in prayer. And here he is also giving me some good fatherly advice. So I know Gus Gordon, and I know what an amazing person he is, and I know how important this theater is for him. So I encourage you to please donate and keep the theater dreams alive, keep live theater alive for this time being when we are really being challenged by the pandemic. And I appreciate your support, and have a great night.
The only affirmative she will file refers to marching down the aisle. No golden, glorious, gleaming, pristine goddess. No, sir, for no Diana do I play fawn. I can tell you that right now. I snarl, I hiss. How can ignorance be compared to bliss? I spark, I fizz for the lady who knows what time it is. I cheer, I rave for the virtue I'm too late to save. The sadder but wiser girl for me.
Say, you hold on to everything. I haven't seen these since we were chased out of Chanhassen.
No bright-eyed, blushing, breathless baby doll baby. No, sir, that kind of child ties knots no sailor ever knew. I prefer to take a chance on a more adult romance. No dewy young miss who keeps resisting all the time she keeps insisting. No wide-eyed, wholesome, innocent female. No, sir, why she's the fisherman, I'm the fish you see. Plop! I flinch, I shy, when the lass with the delicate air goes by. I smile, I grin, when the gal with a touch of sin walks in. I hope, I pray, for Hester to win just one more A. The sadder but wiser girl's the girl for me. The sadder but wiser girl for me. How much of this do you remember?
Enough to get by.
My favorite part.
Nice and easy.
Ha! 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 Jump! Jump!
Oh! This always killed me in Des Moines.
Oh, that's right. Here we go. Slide! Big finish.
Taking her home.
The sadder but wiser girl's the girl for me. The sadder but wiser girl for me. Shame and
I do want to point out that while it's true I frequently played old guys opposite Michael, I finally got to play someone my own age once he graduated. Just saying. We have a proud history in Central Illinois of producing some outstanding talents. Many young people that grew up in Springfield have gone on to wonderful careers in the worlds of theater, film, and dance. Courtney Young is one of our most accomplished success stories, starting in community theater right here in Springfield and ending up on Broadway in hits like The Producers and Young Frankenstein. Here's Courtney describing how she learned to love the arts while growing up in Springfield.
Hi, everybody. I'm Courtney Young, and I'm so excited to have this opportunity to talk to you about how the arts in Springfield, Illinois has had a profound effect on my entire life. I grew up in Springfield, and at about age, I guess it must have been 8 or 9, I was introduced to the arts community in Springfield by Barb Homa, who was the mother of my best friend, Missy Homa. And I had a slumber party at Missy's house one weekend, and the next day she was going to audition for The King and I at the Springfield Muni Opera. And because I was at her house, I rode along in the car to the auditions, and during that car ride, Barb and Missy taught me the song the kids were going to use to audition for The King and I, Getting to Know You. And so I went ahead and auditioned when we arrived, and it was a truly terrible audition. I was a very shy child, and needless to say, I did not get cast in The King and I. Missy did get cast, and as part of that whole audition, I stayed there with her and her mom through the callback process during the afternoon. And I have a very vivid memory of sitting there watching the callbacks for the kids for The King and I, thinking, I have to do this. I have to do this. I didn't know there was such a thing as this. And now I know I have to do this. And that was a transformative moment for me in my life, and I have been a theater practitioner ever since. And I have Springfield, Illinois to thank for that. I have Tom Shrewsbury to thank. He cast me in my first musical, Annie, again at the Muni, and I played the orphan July. Ann Collins was Miss Hannigan. Randy Dunham was Rooster. Cinda Reitzman was Lily. Paul Presney was FDR. And again, that was a transformative experience in my life. I remember the closing performance, being out on that stage at the Muni, and as a 10-year-old, I was sobbing during the final curtain call because that experience was over. And there are so many moments like that in my theater experience in Springfield. Not only performing in shows, but watching shows. I remember watching a chorus line at the Theater Center. Danny Bonnet's performance in particular, I remember really stood out to me in my young mind. I remember Into the Woods at the Theater Center also. That was the first time I saw Gus and Claire Gordon on stage. Sharing the stage with Ed McMurdo, finally getting to be the lead in a musical for My One and Only, directed by Scott Richardson. I mean, that was just a thrilling experience. And also Grace Latrell Nanavati, who ran Dance Art Studio and the Springfield Ballet Company at the time. And the training I got as a dancer in Springfield, Illinois, in the art scene in Springfield, Illinois, was the reason I went on to have a career dancing on Broadway. And I am forever grateful for the arts community in Springfield. I am now in education, I'm teaching, I'm the musical theater program coordinator at Ithaca College, and I'm teaching the next generation of musical theater performer. And truly, I credit any success that I've had in this industry with my roots, with growing up in Springfield, Illinois, in the vibrant arts community that exists there. So I love you all. I wish you all the best, and hopefully we can all be doing theater again very soon.
Courtney is a perfect example of somebody who took advantage of all that Springfield had to offer when she was growing up. We have a rich arts community that provides education in all of the different art forms. Just in the Hoogland Center for the Arts alone, almost every conceivable art form is represented. For those of you who've only come to the Hoogland for one type of event, here's a video showing you what happens every day here at the Hoogland Center for the Arts.
When we were putting this show together, we racked our brains trying to figure out who had connections to Broadway performers. I was lucky that I didn't have to look too far because my sister-in-law, Suzanne, went to school with one of the funniest stars to work on Broadway, off-Broadway, or on the cabaret stage. She asked him to help us out, and much to my great pleasure, he said yes. So, Jason Graw has starred in several Broadway shows and national tours, including Ragtime, Wicked, Falsettos, and A Grand Night for Singing. And he's also one of the original stars of one of my favorite off-Broadway musicals, Forever Plaid. Ladies and gentlemen, the hysterical Jason Graw.
Oh, hello. I'm Jason Graw. It's so wonderful to be seen by all of you tonight. Please say hello to my musical director and my dear, dear friend, Mr. Alex Rybeck. Isn't he cute? Alex is the finest musical director available. I mean that. Oh, I wish that I could see all of your beautiful smiles tonight, but things being the way they are, I'll just have to be happy feeling the shadows of your smiles. You You have perhaps made me feel something. But the moment has passed, and what is done cannot be undone. Once the moment passes, it never comes again. And what is done cannot be undone. Once the moment passes, it never comes again. I once had a girl who loved me well. Her mouth was smaller than her eye, but I loved her just the same. Yes, I loved her just the same. She said she would kill for me, and I said, like, for instance, who? And she said, like, for instance, you. Okay, like, for instance, you. Sometimes it hurts more than others. Sometimes, well, it hurts less now, doesn't it? Sometimes it's just the same. Sometimes it's really just the same. But never mind that. No, never mind that. God gave understanding just to confuse us. And it's always the same anyway. It's always the same anyway. If it's in your path, to hurt me, by all means do. But I beg you, don't go out of your way. Don't go out of your way to do so. You don't know what to make of me, but I know what to make of you. I've nothing to lose. Well, not much. Anyway, but never mind that. Have perhaps made me feel something, but the moment has passed, and what is done cannot be undone. Once the moment passes, it never comes again. Done cannot be undone. Once the moment passes, it never comes again. Hey Alex, what is done cannot be undone. Once the moment passes, it never comes again. Stop it! Thank you all so much.
At this point, we'd like to remind you that this is a fundraiser, and we would appreciate any financial assistance you might be able to provide. You can make donations on our Facebook page and through our website at HCFTA.org. This pandemic has been hard on all of us, but especially on arts venues like the Hoogland. We so appreciate your support. Next, we have another wonderful performer who also happens to be a Springfield native. Lindsay Ariel Grimble got her start here in Springfield, performing with the Muni, the Springfield Theater Center, and Theater in the Park. More recently, she has appeared on Broadway in Rocktopia and starred as Mary Magdalene in the Sight and Sound Theater's spectacular production of Jesus, which was broadcast nationwide this past Easter. Here's Lindsay.
A stranger in white in a car going somewhere, going far. How it must feel to go racing wherever you please, flying as free as a bird with his tail in the breeze. Even the fish in the sea must be longing to fly, catching a glimpse of a stranger in white racing by. Oh gods, are you there? What would I give to get you to look down and give in? Oh gods, hear my prayer. I'm here in the field with my feet on the ground and my feet in the air, waiting for life to begin. Mama's contented and Tom accepts what he gets. Happy for tea in their cups and no holes in their nets. Happy to have what they have and to stay where they are. They never even look up at the sound of a car. A stranger racing down the beach, racing to places I Waiting for life to begin.
We were honored to have Lindsay as a guest artist in our production of Showboat in Concert a few years ago. She makes us all very, very proud. Our next performer has had an amazing career on Broadway. He made his Broadway debut in the review Perfectly Frank back in 1980, and he has worked steadily over the years since. He created the leading role of Franklin Shepard in Stephen Sondheim's Merrily We Roll Along, and starred in the Broadway productions of 42nd Street, Sweeney Todd, and most recently, Come From Away. He was also featured in the hit off-Broadway review The World Goes Round. Here's Jim Walton singing one of his songs from that production.
There's a lady living somewhere. Where it is, I do not know. But I long to write and tell her that I love her so. I believe I might do mayhem. Yes, I might destroy myself if I ever found her missing from my grocer's shelf. Sarah Lee, Sarah Lee, your brioche just fractures me. Give me a taste of your cherry Danish. My mother bakes well, but you can't compare, I'm not with Sarah Lee. Sarah Lee, there's no H, just Sarah Lee. But that's okay, mommy, because I'm living in paradise when I'm nibbling apple spice from the kitchens of the one I love, wonderful Sarah Lee. Hello everyone, I'm delighted to be a part of this virtual gala for the Hoogland Center for the Arts. But I gotta confess, sometimes I miss the live audience. So no offense, I just use my imagination. Great thing about my imagination is the audience laughs at all my jokes. You know, I can almost imagine a live audience right now. Live audience. Let me see, a live audience. Oh my God. Hey, Springfield, what's up? Yeah. What's up? You mean what's up from Springfield? Well, sadly, it's Williamsville. No. I kid. Listen, I love Andy Williams. Yeah. But it's no Beardstown. No. Listen, I've been to Beardstown. And you know what's funny is a lot of people there actually have beards. Yeah, and then there's the men. But spuriously. When is a door not a door? When it's ajar. Hey, sounds like we got kids here. I love kids. Hey kids, listen, it's autumn, so remember, if you get cold, just go stand in the corner. The corner's 90 degrees. You gotta get the right angle on things. Never gamble in the jungle, too many cheetahs. Don't buy Velcro, it's a ripoff. Okay, back to the music. I love her cheesecake, white as pearl. And did I mention that chocolate swirl from the kitchens of the one I love? Wonderful Sarah, beautiful Sarah, S-A-R-A-L-E-E, Sarah Lee. The guy who invented Tic Tacs made a mint. Thank you. Good night, Williamsville! Thank you. Thank you.
So kind. Yes. And sit. Please, sit. No, sit. Oh, for me? Wait. Oh. Thank you. Thank you. So, thank you. Love you.
Well, we're down to our final performance of the evening. Our good friend Carly Shank was kind enough to contact her college friend, Kate Baldwin, and ask her to join us tonight, and Kate was kind enough to say yes. She has starred in the Broadway productions of Finian's Rainbow, Big Fish, Wonderful Town, and recently completed a hugely successful run in Hello, Dolly, playing opposite both Bette Midler and Bernadette Peters. Here, singing a medley from Finian's Rainbow, is the talented Kate Baldwin.
On the day I was born, said my father, said he, I've an elegant legacy waiting for ye. 'Tis a rhyme for your lip and a song for your heart, to sing it whenever the world falls apart. Look, look to the rainbow, follow it over the hill and stream. Look, look, look to the rainbow, follow the fellow who follows a dream. So I bundled my heart and I roamed the world free, to the east with the lark, to the west with the sea. And I searched all the earth and I scanned all the skies, but I found it at last in my own true love's eyes. Look, look, look to the rainbow, follow it over the hill and stream. Look, look, look to the rainbow, follow the fellow who follows a dream. Follow the fellow, follow the fellow, follow the fellow who follows a dream. I hear a bird, a glockhorn or a bird. It well may be he's bringing me a cheering word. I hear a breeze, a river, a Shannon breeze. It well may be it's followed me across the seas. Then tell me, please, how are things in Glockamora? Is that little brook still leaping there? Does it still run down to Donny Cove, through Killybegs, Kilkerry and Kildare? How are things in Glockamora? Is that willow tree still weeping there? Does that laddie with the twinkling eye come whistling by? And does he walk away sad and dreamy there, not to see me there? comes a whistling to Riley. How are things in Glockamora this fine
Well, that's our show tonight. Thank you so much for joining us for our very first virtual gala. And thank you for supporting the arts in Central Illinois.
We appreciate your generous gifts tonight, which will help us maintain this beautiful home for the arts and help us to be ready to hit the ground running once this pandemic is over and life gets back to normal.
We would now like to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors who've helped make this evening possible. Our premier sponsors, Bill and Julie Cellini, our star entertainment sponsors, David and Lori Farrell, and Tom and Peggy Ryder, and our gala sponsor, Sandy Belatti, H.O. and Jane Brownback, Dr. Roland Folse, Norman and Dr. Vicki Megison, and Grace and Dr. P.J. Nanavati.
We would also like to thank the very generous supporters, our Hoogland's heroes, who have helped us financially during this pandemic. We would not be here without their loyal support.
And finally, thank you to our spectacular lineup of Broadway stars, Anna McNeely, Michael Gruber, Kate Baldwin, Jason Graw, Jim Walton, Tamar Green, Ernie Sabella, Seth Rudetsky, Timothy Shue, Pamela Myers, Courtney Young, and Lindsay Ariel Grimble. We truly appreciate your willingness to help us out in this time of need. We're confident that we will weather this storm and be here to welcome everyone back once the curtain rises again. So until that time, stay safe, stay healthy, and on behalf of the staff and Board of Trustees at the Hoogland Center for the Arts, thank you and good night.